Following last week's election defeat, the Labour Party are turning on each other, and some of them are targeting this channel. Well, hello everybody. We have a new week, a new government, and a new Prime Minister. Last week we had the election result. Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party lost. They spent their first couple of days being in denial. That was the first stage of them. They were stuck in this first phase, which was they just couldn't believe that they had lost. They came on the streets, screamed and cried, refused to accept the result, and luckily, I think they've moved on. Now they're stuck in the second phase, which is we have to find someone to blame. Obviously, it wasn't our fault. We're the perfect Labour Party. Socialism works. Why are people so stupid? And let's find the BBC and blame them. So this is what's happening now. And so in this video, we're going to talk about the debate between the Labour moderates and the Corbynistas, but also who else they're blaming. Spoiler alert, they're obviously blaming the BBC. They're also targeting this YouTube channel because, yeah, it's my fault apparently. Now, before we continue, if you're new to this channel and you're enjoying the content, make sure that you subscribe and click on the bell next to it so you get notified. We release videos every day at 5:45 p.m. Now, in terms of the Labour moderates and Corbynistas, we had Grace Blakeley, who is a massive Corbyn fan. She was up against the Labour moderates on Good Morning Britain and also Ian Dale, and this happened.
The policies that have been democratically developed and chosen by the Labour Party are incredibly popular.
No, they're not.
They are.
You have just gone down the biggest defeat since
nationalising the railways,
1987.
free
What part of that
broadband,
don't you understand?
60 to 70% of
What part of that don't you understand?
those policies.
At the risk of
These
winning,
people
Grace,
have absolutely no
You're
idea.
a robot. You're a robot.
I was
working in Workington on Sunday
because of Brexit.
Grace,
I was in
Grace.
Workington on Sunday,
Grace,
and do you know what?
Literally,
Wait a minute, everybody, time out. If the policies were that popular, why is Jeremy Corbyn just taken one of the biggest drubbings in modern political history?
Because if you look at where we lost seats, it was because we came out in support of a second referendum.
Okay, what about Scotland, Grace?
Over the course of this campaign. Exactly.
Scotland is
people in this country are in favour of fairly radical left-wing policies.
No, they're not.
And they did.
Yes, they are. What was the
Corbyn.
change?
Now, Grace's argument is that Labour lost this election because of Brexit and because people didn't necessarily like Labour's Brexit position and the policy. In fact, as we heard just now, Scotland, the majority of people who vote left-wing in Scotland were Remainers. So they should have loved Labour's position on Brexit. But they didn't. So that proves that it wasn't necessarily just about Brexit. Otherwise, the Labour Party would have done good in Scotland. But obviously, Brexit was a huge issue. They lost millions of votes because of this. And Caroline Flint, who is now a former MP, she was one of the good Labour politicians. And she was sacrificed because of this policy, because her seat was people in her constituency just wanted to get Brexit done. And she actually wanted to do that, but she was running as a member of the Labour Party. And this is what she said.
You seem quite emotional.
I am emotional about it. I'm emotional. I'm trying to stem my anger, Sophie, in all of this. But I am emotional because I do believe that in the pursuit of Remain, a number of people who have been ardent Remainers in our party, on our front bench, people like Keir Starmer, people like Emily Thornberry, but many others, Hilary Benn, Yvette Cooper, they have contributed to sacrificing 59 seats. I don't believe anybody who have been the architects of our European policy in the last few years, I think is credible to be leader. I don't think they can win back these seats. And I'm afraid Emily Thornberry did as well. She said to one of my colleagues, I'm glad my constituents aren't as stupid as yours. I'm sorry, it's not acceptable.
Now imagine how vile and how bad you have to be like Emily Thornberry and other Remainer Labour politicians to tell your colleague that at least my constituents aren't as stupid as your constituents just because they wanted to get Brexit done. This is the problem of the Labour Party. And now they're all attacking each other, they're all blaming each other. Name calling is going to be quite difficult because the electorate are watching these debates People are not stupid. They're watching these debates. They're listening to all these arguments. And one of you eventually is going to be the next Labour leader. So be careful. And actually, on that note, we were talking about the next potential Labour leader who they're trying to force a female candidate because they haven't had a female candidate. It's the only party, the mainstream party, that haven't had a Labour female candidate, a female leader. And John McDonnell was questioned because we know where John McDonnell's position is going to go, because he wants Rebecca Long-Bailey, who is a Corbynista, to take over. And if not, then he's going to go with Angela Rayner. And they're all already planning all this. But yeah, let's watch the interview and see what he said.
It's no great secret that you'd like to see Rebecca Long-Bailey take over. There are people who think that you and Jeremy Corbyn are hanging on in order to, as it were, fix in some respects the next leadership.
No, we can't do that. Look, the leadership election will be determined by the NEC. All the details of that. There's strict rules and timescales, etc. I think you look at the new generation coming forward. Becky is brilliant. I think she's excellent, and she could be a brilliant leader. You've got alongside her Angie Rayner. You've got alongside people Richard Berger and
Lisa Nandy, Jess
a whole
Phillips.
range of people. You can see a whole team developing of this new generation. Dawn Butler.
Now, they will have to be very diplomatic, but he just can't even admit that, fine, I'll be fine with Lisa Nandy. Lisa Nandy, until Corbyn came along, she was a left-winger. She was recognised as a very left-wing Labour politician, but actually compared to the Corbynista, she's more like a moderate. She's not really a moderate, but she's kind of to the left of Gordon Brown, basically. And somehow she's now one of the moderate options, and John McDonnell doesn't like that. Now we have Bergen. We have Richard Bergen, who is one of our favourite Labour politicians with his gaffes. Apparently he wants to be deputy leader. Oof, that's going to be fun.
Would you like to run as her deputy?
Well, I'm considering that. Colleagues have approached me about that, and grassroots members and trade unions encouraging me to stand. I'll be considering that in the coming weeks. But what I'm focused on at the moment is trying to analyse exactly what went wrong in this general election and exactly what we can do to make it go right. Because
now, as we said, the Labour members are now targeting everyone to blame for the election defeat. They from the BBC, Laura Kuenssberg, but also this channel. So apparently it's my fault that Labour lost. Don't know why. I mean, it's not really my fault. It was my job to do that, so thank you. There was a group chat online, and John McDonnell had a live stream going on, and the Labour activists were leaving messages and talking to each other. And at some point, one of them basically said, "It's Maya Tusi's fault that we lost." And he then did something really bad. In this chat, basically, people were blaming everybody else, and they're talking about the problems. And the final message said, "I blame Maya Tusi and his fake news YouTube videos. Call him and tell him." Then he put my actual phone number on the screen publicly. Now, firstly, I don't know where my phone number, how they found my phone number. Secondly, so this happened, and I know there are some legal issues with this. You can't just like randomly dox people. Last night, I couldn't sleep. Every 5 minutes, I had someone calling to abuse me and basically tell me it's my fault. And it was quite fun. I had some popcorn. I was listening to the calls and eating my popcorn. I am obviously going to take action on this if it continues, and but it's been quite fun. I do need some sleep again because the last week or so, because of the election and now because of last night's calls, it's been quite difficult. It's not just me though, because Laura Kuenssberg of the BBC, who's actually one of the good BBC journalists, she and Andrew Neil are on a whole different level because they are actually unbiased. She's now been attacked because apparently it's also her fault. Tearful Laura Kuenssberg targeted by Corbynistas, accusing her of pro-Tory bias. Basically, Laura has been targeted by Corbyn supporters and because they say she's basically a Tory. In reality, she's actually one of the most professional and balanced journalists that the BBC have. And you think this is bad? We have Ken Livingstone. So Ken Livingstone is now back. He's come out and said that it's not Jeremy Corbyn's fault that Labour lost. I mean, it's everyone else's fault but Jeremy Corbyn. It's obviously the BBC's fault. It's Maya Tusi's YouTube channel's fault. It's Father Christmas's fault. And it's probably Israel's fault as well. It's absolutely ludicrous that these people don't understand how real life works. Now, with the upcoming leadership election for the Labour Party and all this chaotic stuff that's going on, this channel is going to be quite busy. So if you're new and if you enjoy the content, as I said, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell next to it so you get notified when I release a new video. We are now almost about 1,000 subscribers away from reaching 100,000. So thanks everyone for supporting us so far. As I promised, when we get to 100,000, I'm going to throw a big party, a big event, and we're going to have some special guests, some MPs coming to speak to us. So when we get to that point, I'll send you guys an invite. And as I said, thanks for supporting the channel. If you want to continue backing us, we have the merchandise site. You could check out our merchandise. We have obviously the Christmas version. All I want for Christmas is Brexit. So if you haven't done your Christmas shopping yet, make sure you check out the page. The link is in the description as always. And follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram. You can find the links down here on the screen somewhere. And I'm Maya Tusi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.